Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. This is English with Dr. Papori Barooah, and here I am today with a very relevant topic. A particular topic which so many people have actually asked me what the basic differences are between a resume, a CV and a biodata or a curriculum vitae. Now the whole thing is that they look so similar, they sound similar. In fact, the purpose of using themselves seems very similar. But there are some basic and subtle differences between them, all of them. So today we are going to talk about this very interesting topic. I try to make it very interesting for you. And of course, one more thing here, this is something so relevant for anybody who is aspiring to actually go in for any particular job one day or the other. So let's get going. So what we are trying to talk about today is a resume, a curriculum vitae, and a biodata. And what are the basic differences between all of them? Let's talk about them. Let us begin with the resume. So what is a resume? Let me first talk about from where the word resume comes. It comes from the French word which means the summary. So you can very possibly come to know what a resume will actually hold. So when we talk about a resume, some of the basic things that will be there. First of all, it talks about one's educational qualification. It will also talk about the skills that particular person knows, and also gives one's ideas about one's employment. So automatically you've come to know that resume actually cannot be utilized or used by a fresher, somebody who is applying for the job for the first time, because it always talks about one's earlier employment. So let's talk about when do we actually use a resume. So when somebody is applying for a new job, okay, when it's applying for a new job, that means somebody who's already in a job but wants to get another job, that person will always use a resume with his job application. Then how long should a resume be? It is best 1 page long. So basically it will give you all in it's a gist form or a summary form of whatever whatever one needs to know about the person or the candidate. Secondly, it is always written in the third person. So in a resume, you will not write I. You will write as if you're writing for somebody else. For instance, he passed his matriculation in the year so and so, like that. So a resume will always be written in the third person. Again, it is suitable for experienced people. As I said, this is not to be used by any fresher. Somebody who is already into a job but wants another new job, the person will apply with a resume. And fourthly, applying for specific positions which require specific skills. So it is like more of the skills which is more important than the education itself. Such types of jobs you're going to use a resume to apply. So let us now come to the next topic. Normally what happens is that people are very confused. What is the difference between a curriculum vitae and a resume? Seems very similar. It's like you can alternate one for the other, but it's not like that. You really have demarcations or watertight compartments about what basically is a resume and what basically is a CV or a curriculum vitae. Now, when we talk about a CV, this is more relevant for people who are freshers, So you've just passed out of your college with a wonderful degree and you want to apply for a job, then you use a CV. Let's talk about it as CV or a curriculum vitae. We always tend to use a short form. It is a CV. So let's focus on what a CV has basically and what it is used for. So a CV, it comes from a Latin word which means a course of life. So basically a curriculum vitae will trace the entire course of the life of the individual candidate in a span of 2-3 pages there, and therefore it will talk about any job that person needs to, in fact the person knows, right? And secondly, any skill that person has which he wants to display, or every degree that this person has under his cap. So basically all these will come in a CV, and all of them will follow a chronological order. That is, they will begin from the lowest and go up to the highest degree, or the vice versa. They may begin with the highest degree and come down, but it has to follow a chronology. Now let us talk about how many pages the CV should be long. It should be 2-3 pages, and it should highlight the general talents of the candidate. Whatever you need to know about the candidate, and always we need to remember CVs are applied for by the freshers. They use the CV, those who are applying for the first time, or if you are also applying for a academic job, something like a professor, all right, something like a lecturer's job or a teacher's job, you can apply with a CV. So by now you've come to know the subtle differences between the CV and the resume. Now let us talk about a term which is so relevant, or in fact so familiar to us, a biodata. As if everybody in India knows about it. A biodata has a father's name, the mother's name, your nationality, things like that. You'll be surprised to know these things do not feature in your CV and resume. You do not have any mention of your parents, you do not have any mention of your nationality, your gender, nothing like your religion, nothing like that will come in the CV and the resume, but all of these will actually come in a biodata. So it's like more relevant to the Indian context. So you get the idea. When we talk about a biodata, it has to do with the Indian context, with the government jobs and things like that. Right, let's get going. So a biodata is something, alright, let's first talk about the full form. The full form of the biodata is a biographical data. Automatically you come to know biographical, that means everything to do with the biography of the person will be there in the biodata. So by the way, it is a very obsolete form. People do not use it normally, apart from people in India. Outside, they do not normally use the biodata. So it is, as I said, it's mostly used in India, and it's used in government jobs. And if you want to go in and apply for some research grants, like in the government grants and all things like that, you'll use a biodata. So there's just one more thing here that's very different from the CV and the resume, is that there's no limit to the number of pages in the biodata. And it also is a chronological listing of the education of the person concerned, his experience. So it's like you can be a fresher, you can be somebody who's looking for a new job. All of you can actually apply with the biodata if you're applying for a government job or academic positions. So when we talk about the biodata, the focus of the biodata is something that we all are familiar. As I said before, it is something you'll feel very at home with, because from when you talk about Indian context, we are very familiar with the concept of the biodata. And so what basically goes into the biodata? Let's talk about it. So it's the personal particulars of the person. So it begins with the personal particulars, like the date of birth. So even the date of birth, your date of birth will be there in the biodata. Secondly, it will talk about whether you're male or a female. The gender will also be there. It will also talk about your religion. Like, this is something which is normally relevant, very relevant to India. We have a conglomeration of so many different religions. So this actually happens in India. So religion is also mentioned in the biodata. Apart from the race, what race are you from? Whether even your caste, like ST, SC, OBC, all of these will be mentioned in the biodata. Or what is your nationality? Indian. You have to mention it's an Indian nationality if you're using the biodata, for instance. Or whether your marital status, whether you're married or unmarried, also matters in an Indian government job, I guess. So we need to use that in the biodata, apart from your residence, where you actually live. So that is all I have to say about the resume, the CV and the biodata. I hope your idea about the entire thing, or what the differences basically are cleared, and I hope you enjoyed the session with me, and I hope you'll keep looking forward to more sessions like this with me, Dr. Papori Barooah. Thank you so much for watching, and do subscribe to my channel if you haven't. Thank you.